Oh, I'm telling on somebody's age, ain't I? Yeah. What's up, y'all? This is your boy Gerald. It is Friday. I think it's the 24th, 23rd, no, 22nd. But what I do know is you on the end of your week. Yes, you are, and I want to congratulate you. You have navigated through, sidestep the negative by grounding your feet, speaking your truth. Man, gotta love the 80s. See, everything was fresh. This song came out in 1984 and still sounds good. Because that's when originality, and that's why when things were deemed classic, they were deemed timeless. But I'm putting this out there because I know y'all saw what I put out there. Like, why are you putting a video out, Gerald, about a vacuum? Well, there's a backstory to it. You know, one thing that I've treasured about my journey is that at a very, very young age, and I know some of y'all can relate to what we know as being a latchkey kid. A latchkey kid is a child that pretty much you have to do things on your own because your mother, your parents were out there holding it down by because they were working, they had responsibilities. So you being the child, you had a key. You let yourself in. You had your little midday snack and you did your homework and you were just chilling until your parents walked in the door. Some of y'all, depending on where you were in your life, you were the one making the dinner. Just pulled out and you prepared because you knew that dinner had to be made a certain time. But that's all good, y'all. That's what were the fibers needed to help mold the person that you are today, but the person you're destined to be. Because those things right there were the makings of you. But let's get back to why I'm putting this out. I know some of y'all have to take care of yourself. Some of you are not fortunate or may not be in that stage of your life where you're going to have companionship. You know, one thing that my mom used to always echo when I was younger, she used to say, "Son, you're not guaranteed that you're going to have a wife, but you are required to be able to wash your clothes, wash your backside, and feed yourself. Because these are the things that are required for you to be able to make it on this world, let alone the things needed to go along with that beautiful mind of yours." But I wanted to take the time out today because this is not going to be winded. So today, y'all, this week has been really eventful because I found out this week I had a fractured hand. Yeah. Well, you know the bone, you know the body, the hand has so many small bones in it. Come to find out for the last 3 weeks, I've been walking around with a fracture. So I have to wear a splint, and time to time I can take it off. So this happens to be one of those moments. So my hand's a little swollen compared to the other, but yeah, right here I got a nice little, I got a fracture, hairline fracture. But let's get back to hand. Let's get back to the point. I wanted to put this out to somebody because you may have a vacuum cleaner that has been loyal to you than more than most of your friendships have been there. And you're starting to notice that, hey, you know what? No matter how much you, if you're still using bags, you know, I'm telling my age because I remember there was a time when you had a little plastic, you little had paper bags you had to fit on the nostril and it would fill up and you swap them out. Got a little zipper on there. But see, we're in an age now where everything is bagless. You just pull off the canister, hit the latch, and there it goes. And for those who have been on my channel, you also know that I am also a very blessed pet owner. Y'all seen Tyson running around. Right now, Tyson's sitting in the kennel because I know if I was to have him out right now, he'd be all up in here like what, you know. But anyway, I wanted to take time right now to put this out to somebody that you may be at that crossroads where you know you got to get a new vacuum cleaner, even though inside your mind you still loyal to the one you got. And it's no secret when you look at the prices of vacuum cleaners, you have a big, great divide. Some as cheap as $35, all the way up to 500 plus. And then depending on who you are, you may want to go and talk about the Kirby's. Yeah, y'all know about them Kirby's. Them Kirby's are the same price as a cheap car, 15, 17, sometimes $2,000 for a vacuum cleaner. Yeah, if I'm gonna spend $1,700 on a vacuum cleaner, it better move itself and have the whole residence done, because I don't understand the logic behind that, but to each his own. But I wanted to go out and put this video out right now because this morning I knew I needed to get another vacuum cleaner, but I also knew that, you know, I wasn't trying to spend no money. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really didn't want to spend no money. So what I did, I went online and I Googled, you know, what were out there, right? And the best thing that you can do if you're looking for any type of products, y'all, first thing is look at the comments that people have already posted about a product. Yes. Let me tell you why. Because these people actually have hands-on experience of the product that you may be looking at. And that will also give you that'll give you some insight on, well, do I want to actually invest my money on this product? As well as it kind of keeps it neutral, because you got to understand something, y'all. Advertisers make millions and millions of dollars to push and promote products. So how can they make millions of dollars if you're not contributing to that? So you got to be cognitive of that. So yesterday I got online and I was like, well, I looked to see what the top 5 was out there. And this morning I decided to go to my friendly neighborhood Wally World. Y'all know who I'm talking about. You see some strange stuff too, especially, you be in a line, somebody right there be like, why don't you come in here with that? I don't know what it is about Wally World. It just brings some interesting folks. But nonetheless, let's get back to what I was saying. So I went to one Wally World this morning, and here's something you may want to consider. Depending on where that Wally World is, it's also going to be reflective of the products that they sell. Some locations will promote certain things compared to other locations will never see it. So I went in there this morning and I looked around just to get a gauge of what was out there. And then as I started my day, I went to another one. And as I just said, some locations will have access to certain product lines, and then some locations will not. There's no bias. It's just business 101. Why would I turn around and put a certain product in a certain location when I know that I can't make them? You can't move it. It makes no sense. So, needless to say, there I am walking around, and there's like 20 different vacuum cleaners, from your basic pull kind that got the big extension ones with the big hose with the big pipe and the little head. That ain't nothing but a throwback to the vacuum cleaners that were back in the 40s and 50s. And then you saw the different aspects of what was out there. Now you got to keep in mind, y'all, vacuum cleaners, like any product, they have a certain push date. That's why you may look at it, you may have an eye on a product, and then because of the price point, and then you come back maybe 3 to 4 months later and it's been reduced in price. Why? Because they got another model, but it may be the same product. Only thing they may have changed was the color. Yes, same thing with tennis shoes. You get the same shoe, different color. Why? Because they still selling the same model, but they're looking for the certain consumer base that may be gravitated to that that product. You'd be surprised how many products out there it's the same model, but they decided to add a color to it and it moves. Why? Because scientifically it's been proven that most consumers are drawn to items that have different colors and in print. It's the same thing when you were a baby. When you cried, when you were, what happened? Your parents gave you a little distractor because that's exactly what it does. Except as a child, the payoff is peace of mind. The payoff as an adult is they got your money. Now, let's go further. So I'm literally going and looking at every one of the vacuums that are there. From the inexpensive to, they had some up there, they're like $300, $400. So I looked at the $400 model. I'm not going to endorse them because they ain't paying me to. So, and I took the time to look at the qualities for why did you sell that? Why are you asking for this amount? So I looked at the specs. When you're looking at anything that you may be interested in putting your hard-earned money in it, look at what makes that product stand out from the others. Take the time. You know how they say, look at the small print? That's exactly what you do. Now, so I took that in mind and I said, okay, so this does all these things, and for that, you want XYZ dollars. So that was my template. That was my median line. That was so as I started to look, I looked in price and I started to notice what the benchmark of that high dollar one compared to the inexpensive. Now, let's go back to advertising again. Now, it's no surprise, as I just mentioned, that there are colors in everything. Why? Because for some reason, we are gravitated to things that stand out. So I'm looking at the different brands, and I'm looking at, there were 4 brands out there, and I'm looking at their inexpensive to their most expensive. Now, I looked at that. I looked at that high dollar one that they had in there, and I based the specifics of that high dollar with each brand. Right, right off the bat, I saw a $200 differential just off of color. Just off of color, y'all. The other part of that $200 was that label. As you already know, a color and a label will not pick up that whatever that is on your carpet. No, it won't. Mm-mm. And why are you going to spend your hard-earned money on something that won't do the job? So I am looking at each one of these vacuums. I was up in that darn section for, I say about 45 minutes to an hour, y'all. They only have like 30 vacuums in there. I know they was probably looking at me on the camera like, what is this brother doing on the vacuum center? Because they saw me pick the box up, put the box down, pick the box up, put the box down, go to another brand, pick the box up, put the box down. But you know what I wasn't going to do? I was not going to waste my money. Wasn't going to do it. That's why it's so important, y'all. Take time. Take time. Read the small print. So let's fast forward this because I said I wasn't going to make this long. So after picking the box up, putting the box down, looking at this brand from that brand, Going to this brand, and then I saw another thing. Got to give credit where credit's due, because see, they're using colors, but you know what they're also doing, y'all? They're also using how they describe the product. Yes, that's why it's very imperative, y'all, that you take the time to read the descriptive attributes of the product. So, as I'm going ping pong, and like I said, I know the people on the cameras like, will he hurry up and make a decision? But at the end of the day, what's at stake? My money. My time is my money. So let's fast forward again. So picking the box up, putting the box down, taking the box, the best selection for each brand, and looking at them. Then I looked at price point. And as I was looking at the price point, I started to notice a couple things. Some of the products that are out on the market are marked the way they are marked for convenience. And I'm gonna tell you why I say that. Would you spend would you spend an extra $35 to roll up your cord? Yeah, you know, the cord. Would you spend $35? And I'm like, why would I spend an extra $35 when I can just take an extra second and roll up my cord? A lot of the vacuums out there today have that option that it will self retract. Well, I thought about it. I said, that's convenient. But if anybody that has ever had a self retracting iron knows that eventually that spindle will get wore up. Eventually, that cord will bind. And what ends up happening? You end up wrapping up that cord anyway. So, not to sound cheap, I'm looking at practicality. So as I noted that, out of the 6 groups, you picked a brand, they all had that. And right off the top, they were already between the $120 to $180 mark just because of that one additive. And I said, do I want to, what sells this vacuum to me? So what I decided to do, y'all, I went back to that high dollar one, right? And then it stuck out like a neon sign. See, one of the additives of that high dollar vacuum was the power. Did you hear me? What's the point on having a vacuum if it can't suck? So I noticed the high dollar ones and the premium vacuums. I looked at the power intake, but I never lost sight of what that high dollar one power output was, which was 12 amps. So I kept that in mind. And then I went back once again. I know the security camera was like, there he is going around them darn vacuums again. And I started to see another strong suit that they were using was they were trying to copy what was the high dollar one in the look. See, some of y'all know what I'm talking about. There are some premium vacuums out there and they have unique look. And you notice that the other ones have tried everything in their power to mimic that. Just have a little twinge to make it their own. But it's, you know, where they got the inspiration from. Well, that goes back to what I said before. A look, a label, a retractable cord will never make your floor clean. Will never do what it's set out to do. That was another $30 on top. Some were almost $60 on top, just for the imagery So I'm going around there, around there, around there again. So I done been in that section over an hour, and I could not ignore the fact of power, because I knew right then and there, without power, you ain't gonna have a clean floor. So let's bring this home for you bachelors, for you, uh, for those that are all about your money. You want something, you want something efficient. I did the legwork for you. The best vacuum out on the market, under $100, is this one right here. This one right here. Can you see it? There you go. This sucker right here will give you all that you need. The Eureka airspeed airflow. Now remember, I was talking about specifics. This vacuum was under like 89. Still with tax, it was under $100. Now, you got some consumers out there that get swayed off of gimmicks. Well, I can turn around and I can detach it and I can carry it with me, and I got my little power wand. How many times you gonna, if you have stairs, you're gonna detach that thing to do your stairwell? You're not. After the novelty is gone over, has played out, you're gonna be like, "Damn, I gotta do them steps again." Mm-mm. So why are you gonna spend an extra $35 just for a vacuum that's gonna disconnect? A lot of those now they got a lot of vacuums out there that are doing the swivel now and the detach, but guess what? They don't put out power. No, they don't. And then you got to be cognitive on the head of the vacuum. This sucker right here has the same specifics as your high end. It has different. It has three different ribbing on the brush, as well as how they have it. It kind of gives like a swirl like effect, like a wave. But guess what? You don't have to worry about your strings getting caught up in there. You got to cut them out. No, it won't let you, because the material that the spool's on, it won't let you. It won't do it. Plus, once again, there's that power. You got 12 amps of power pulling. It does have that typical cyclonic effect. It does have it has a HEPA filter on it, and it is washable. So if you're looking for a vacuum that does everything it's supposed to do under $100, highly recommend this one. Oh, I know somebody may think, well, it's probably heavy. No, it's not heavy at all. It's very maneuverable. Because I know you have a lot of seniors. They used to that 25, 30 pound vacuum back in the day. No, this is a fraction. I think the weight of this one is 7 pounds. Yeah, 7 pounds. Oh, installation. No screws. No, it all connects in like Legos. Very easy. It took me about 7 minutes to connect everything together. Actually, I could have put it together real quick, but then it's plastic, and you don't want to rush. You want to take your time, make sure it's right. So I did that for myself, but I still had it from front to back. Had everything together, and I'm gonna tell you what. When I turned around and started vacuuming, I was blown away, because I try to, at a minimum, I try to vacuum my floor at least once a week. I try to because of Tyson. He's a long hair. He's got that short hair, so he always shed, you know. And with my other, I had a Bissell, had it for like shoot, had that Bissell upright almost 5-6 years, and that was the reason why I ended up getting a new one because the belt kept coming off. And the other day I turned around, I was like, went and got another belt because why is it not doing that? I enjoyed the vacuum, but this one's lighter. It's very lighter, and I went over where I was with that vacuum, and it was like I never vacuumed. So if you want a vacuum, they're pretty much you get your money's worth. The Eureka Airspeed all floors, and that's exactly what it is. You can use it on hardwood. You can use it on if you got linoleum, I'm messing that word up. You know what I'm saying. If you got bare floors, it without missing nothing, it works it out. Also, you got two apparatus. It does have the little extension on it. It sits to the side, and then you have the small little brush that comes on the end of it. It's got that. But see, I still have my Bissell extension that when you suck it, it generates. It spins on its own. So I'm good with that. But this one also comes with it on its own. But not to be winded. What I always say, I always quote P.T. Barnum. And what did P.T. Barnum say? He said, "A fool and his money will soon part." So if you are thinking about getting a new vacuum, don't get caught up on that Porsche and that Cadillac one out there. I'm not hating, but I'm just telling you, at the end of the day, all you want is it to do its job. And I'm gonna tell you what. Hey, I'm a dude. Come on now. I like a clean spot too. And this thing, and oh yeah, um, because of the ampage being pulled out, it does have that all no suction. There's no blockage, and so with the ampage, it will pull any dust and dirt that's under under your carpet, because there's a padding between the carpet, the floor, and your carpet. Well, guess what? That microscopic dust and dirt that comes off your shoes, how about your pet's feet? It has enough pressure to pull it out. And I went over my floors, um, and it did such a great job. My carpet looks like I just steam cleaned it. See, I normally don't, but I'm just gonna see if I can do it. I'm gonna turn my laptop so you can see. See that? Can you see? I just did that, and it look. If you bought your money, and you want something that's gonna last, and now keep in mind this: you get what you pay for. But I will tell you this: you will be pleasantly surprised because this thing does its job. Oh, let's see what else. You know how vacuums have the selector of the floor? It's on the side of the neck. So if you want to use your extension, you just switch it from on the side, and it picks up without it does its thing. So, but if you're looking for a good vacuum under $100, this is where it is. But look, don't get caught up on advertisers. Don't get caught up on the hype of colors. Go after what matters. Can it do its job? Because at the end of the day, it's your money. It's your time. Don't you want it to deliver? This is where that. Hey, hey, to my bachelors, get this vacuum right here. You be straight. All right, y'all. You have a great and blessed weekend. I hope this helped out. If you have any questions, concerns, y'all know what to do. Hit me up. Have a blessed weekend. Bye.